kind of serious.
Great.
Yeah, I used to have a really bad addiction. I was addicted to the hokey pokey, but I turned myself around, and that's what it's all about.
Oh my God.
I don't know about that one. I hope you don't use that with girls in your DMs, man.
Hey guys, it's Terrence Nan. You're listening to Hear the Spirit presented by No Game Day. Go Noles.
Hey, what's up? This is Peter Ward, aka E-Dub, in the house. So we're listening to Hear the Spirit presented by No Game Day. Go Live, go Noles.
Hi, this is Charlie Ward, and you're listening to Hear the Spirit. Go Noles.
This is Terrell Buckley. You're listening to Hear the Spirit presented by No Game Day. No Bloody.
But perhaps better known as the greatest corner to ever step on a football field, Deion Primetime Sanders.
Great Deion Sanders, my brother. What's going on, man? I could wake up to that greeting every day, man. That was awesome.
Hello, Noles fans. This is former Seminole Derek Brooks, and you're listening to Hear the Spirit, presented to you by No Game Day.
James Wilder Jr. What's going on, James?
Thanks for having me on. SSOD, Florida State or Die, and go Noles.
William Bar None Floyd.
Gentlemen, what's up?
What's happening, guys? This is Logan from Hear the Spirit, presented to you by No Game Day. We are here on this gorgeous Thursday evening. We've got the whole crew back. Once again, Dustin decided to come back to us. It's great to have him on board with us. Austin's here. We're going to fully recap, kind of talk about Florida State's last game, and then jump in straight into the Clemson preview, which they'll be playing on Saturday at Clemson. And then we're going to kind of talk about some quick hitters coming out of football, Norvell's discipline system. Jay Litton is officially in the transfer portal. We're going to talk a little bit about Jameis Winston, that guy, and then touch on Cam Akers as he gets ready to hit the field tomorrow. And we talk about his bench and NFL Combine. And we'll go over questions, FSU trivia, and fun facts at the end. As always, you can listen to this podcast on iTunes, SoundCloud, Spotify, Google Play. If you're on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. If you're on any platform, hit that subscribe button, and you'll be notified every time we release a new episode. If you're on iTunes, if you leave a review and leave a 5-star rating, we will shout you out on the podcast. And I'm keeping my promise, as always. And I would think we've actually had a few people leave some 5-star reviews, which I'm going to go ahead and shout out right now. This is actually from this last Friday. This is from KS121, says the guys always bring great insight and energy to the pod each and every week. Another 5-star rating is coming from TKO5656, says one of my favorite FSU podcasts, very insightful and entertaining. So appreciate you guys rating us 5 stars. If you want to get shouted out, do what they did. But let me go ahead and introduce. I mean, that's what it is, Dustin. What are you laughing at?
I don't know. Just do what they did.
I'm just laughing at the 6-minute intro.
Oh, it's okay, kids. It's okay. But do you want me to introduce you guys to them or no?
I mean, yeah, you've spent enough time. Might as well.
Yeah, of course. So we got our lead writer and editor, Dustin Lewis, with us this evening, along with our lead basketball writer, Austin Bizet. What's up?
So,
Well, I don't like the slang you put on my last name.
Pronunciation.
Yeah.
Don't know where to begin.
Vise most certainly sounds cooler.
No.
Dustin, do you agree?
I don't agree.
Wow. So Vizi sounds cooler than Veze?
Absolutely.
I mean, I don't know why you're even asking the question.
I don't think it sounds.
Sounds like he's like Russian or something.
What?
Bizet.
I don't know about that one. I don't know about that. Y'all ready to talk some football? We actually got some football here to talk about. Our last podcast was an instant reaction to obviously Florida State's big win over Louisville on Monday night. But we got some football. Y'all ready to talk a little bit about about this sport?
I mean,
wow.
I had to hold myself back from saying like the sport, because I know y'all two would rip me apart, and definitely Austin.
Yeah, we definitely need to get back into football. Spring practice starts next week, boys. March 7th.
I'm excited. I don't know about y'all. I
Yeah.
have a feeling that it's gonna be a little bit different at these practices than it's been the last 2 years, and I'm sure we will discuss a lot of that moving forward. Some of that we can start right now. We released an article today from Nick, one of our writers covering football and baseball. Nick Hertez. Golly, hopefully I got his last name right. But he wrote an article, and we're going to talk a little bit about Coach Norvell and his discipline and his system there. We heard about it 2 months ago, which is pretty funny. There's obviously been a huge conversation started on Twitter, thanks to us. Oops. But UF Twitter also is engaged in it too. As usual, they like to jump in. And then I saw a few Miami fans, but I don't really know what they're doing. They don't usually come out until like September. Am I wrong?
I mean, they don't really come out at all. They come out for a couple weeks, but then like after week 2, they're silent again.
They have some talkers, I will have to say.
Well, they've been able to talk a little bit over the past couple years. We'll see about 2020.
Yep, that is true. So pretty much, I think a big one here is, Mike Norvell is bringing some big time discipline to Florida State, accountability, and also, you're gonna have to make some sacrifices and sacrifice for what you love the most in football. And he discussed it at a big booster meeting in Tallahassee on 51 at Madison, a fairly new establishment for boosters to go to, right in the smack dab of College Town, right next to Madison Social and Township. And he spoke, and it was pretty intense during it. I watched this and found this. Not a lot of people have seen it yet until we posted the video, and it's kind of stirred up a big conversation. He said that when entering the Moore Center, which is the athletic center for the football team, and that's, if people don't know, that's where the trophies are. That's where their locker room is. And basically, he said, when you're going in, he doesn't want you wearing earrings. He's talking about his players' earrings, hats, headphones. And before, a couple months ago, he talked about wearing a hoodie. He wanted, you to be able to talk to people and not have your headphones in. And the earrings one was kind of fairly new. Not a lot of people, he hadn't said that a couple months ago until he talked about it in this video. Just straight off the bat, what are y'all thoughts on this? Because I think it's kind of 50-50 in the discussion, not only from rival fans. Obviously, they're making fun of it, of course. That's them. It's the offseason, and you got a new coach coming in. But also some FSU fans aren't the biggest fan of this. Mainly it's the earrings thing. But they're like, what does that have to do with your football playing capabilities? What are y'all's thoughts on that straight off the bat?
Yeah, I just think it shows that Norvell is asking the players to make a sacrifice and to put football first in front of other things. Earrings aren't really a big deal, but it's the little things like that. If you can't follow a simple rule like that, what are you going to be doing on the football field?
Yeah, I think it comes down to people, or some players are more concerned with how they look off the field than on the field. And I think that's kind of where Norvell's coming from, because we've seen the last couple of years where they're dancing and having fun, but then they suck on the field. And I think it's kind of coming from that more than anything. I didn't really take too much away from it, though. It doesn't concern me that much.
Do you think a majority, though, if Mike Norvell starts winning games right off the bat, everybody will just kind of just shut up?
Yeah, as long as he wins, it's fine. That's the reason Taggart sucked. Everyone would have been fine with the dancing if we won, but we didn't win. Winning solves every issue.
Bobby Bowden had the same kind of approach, too, with the earrings thing. Just a note there if nobody knew. Bobby Bowden had a no earring policy. Another thing.
I think at one point he also had a certain length for players to have their hair, but that was something that kind of went away over the last couple years of his tenure.
Yeah, I've heard about that too. And he also discussed about wearing the hoodies up, obviously, and then also sagging pants, hats, and headphones inside the Moore Center. And so I think a lot of people are kind of taking this out of context too, where, if they're out roaming around, that they can do this. But I will say, though, I have not seen, and I'm on campus, Dustin's on campus, when I see players, they're not wearing like they used to. They're not wearing headphones, and I don't really notice the hoodie thing, but they're not wearing headphones, in which I was so used to seeing them do. Right, Dustin? I feel like they used to always wear headphones.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I don't really.
You don't get. Well, you don't. Yeah, you
I walk around with headphones.
No, you don't go to class. That was a terrible person to ask. My bad.
I mean, I try not to go, but when I go, I put headphones in.
How many times have you gone this month to class? And we're at the end of the.
I don't know, 1, 2.
Oh my God.
I got better stuff to do, bro.
Austin, did you go to class more than that during your time?
I went to class a fairly good amount. We kind of had to.
Yeah, you're supposed to go, but nah.
So yeah, it's a big discussion. This has hit Facebook and Twitter pretty hard, but I mean, just my guess heading into this spring practice, I think it's going to be a wake-up call for a lot of people, for a lot of players, even the staff around them. The accountability that I think that I have spoken on for the last year and a half since it's fallen apart. Multiple former Noles on here have talked about it. I think the accountability is about to rise up, and once that first week of spring practice hits, there's going to be some people waking up, and it's going to kind of be like, when Jimbo Fisher came here, there was a lot of accountability asked. There's a lot of leaders that were built. This is where the leaders become. This is where you see these players rise up to be leaders. Obviously, there's a few right now on the team, and some that came back. Marvin Wilson, James Blackman still here, and also Tamarion Terry. But you're going to see some guys build up and start calling out guys to build accountability that this team has needed for a long while. It's been a struggle the last couple of seasons.
Yeah, I hope so, because, I mean, from what we saw with the A.J. Litton transfer, which is something we're going to get into, some of the players responded a little adversely to it on Twitter, particularly Corey Durden, who's always a little bit emotional on the Twitter sphere. But yeah, I mean, that's something that you can't have happen. You can't have the players questioning the head coach, especially on a public platform like that. I mean, the tweet was quickly deleted, but point still stands. And I'm sure the next day he wasn't feeling too good.
Want to get into a little bit of the A.J. Litton talk here. He officially has announced, or it has officially become available in public, that his transfer request has been sent. He's now in the transfer portal. As we know, he was dismissed from the team last week, and there wasn't a whole lot of details. There was some rumblings and rumors and stuff, but it seemed like things did not go so well with the current staff with him, and he was dismissed from the team immediately. And
on his birthday.
On his birthday, yes. So we talked about this too last week, but this doesn't take a major hit to Florida State's defensive backfield. We already know what Florida State brings in year out, but I think this is more interesting to see, is that going to be kind of like the start to something that's going to be a regular thing once spring starts, or is that just a one-time thing and the players are going to learn from maybe his mistakes that happened to what led to him being dismissed?
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to see. I still expect a couple guys to transfer out either now or after the spring and into the summertime. So I think we'll still see probably 4 or 5 guys that are currently on the roster not be on this team come the summer.
Yeah, I agree with Dustin. There's going to be guys that aren't here in about a month.
Y'all got a number?
I just said 4 to 5.
Or what? Yeah, I would say 3 to 4.
3 to 4, okay. Yeah, no, it'll be interesting. I like I said earlier, I think this is going to be a different kind of practice. And if you might have wanted to come to Florida State under Willie Taggart and you enjoyed those practices, it's going to be a little bit different. Or yeah, just to say the least. From what I've heard from Memphis guys, people around Memphis, and kind of comparing that to what I know Taggart had here, It's going to be interesting. But, yeah, so A.J. Lynn is officially in the transfer portal. Best of luck to him. Next up, Jameis Winston. Let's talk a little bit of Jameis here, since this is your boy, Dustin. I just about called you Jameis.
You got to call me Jameis?
I just about called you Jameis.
I am honored.
I made sure.
You couldn't be further from Jameis.
Have you seen my arm? You know what? You're right. I actually might be better. I wouldn't throw 30 picks.
You threw
27.
You can lift up like 2 sweet and spicy bacon burgers at Whataburger.
More than 2. That's weak sauce, bro.
By the way, always use a Chick-fil-A sauce whenever you're going to Chick-fil-A.
Oh my dude, you know he's gonna make a comment now.
And
I'm
Austin.
make a comment. No sauce.
Ridiculous. You're ridiculous. You're weird. Well, we already know you're weird, Austin.
Speaking of the food, real quick, I forgot to eat the damn donut sandwich.
Yeah, I was about to say.
I didn't have time this week.
Yeah.
That's why I was expecting to record Friday.
Oh yeah, that was gonna be your celebratory like Friday lunch.
Hey, next podcast reviewing the chicken donut sandwich from KFC. So mark it down.
Yeah,
You're gonna want to download that one.
Because he's not.
Because it might be Dustin's last one. Might be his last podcast ever.
There's a chance.
That doesn't sound pleasing to me. I don't know. That just seems like too much. Like donut on top of chicken, is it? What is it?
It's like
a chicken sandwich between 2 donuts.
Yeah. 2 glazed donuts with a fried chicken breast in the middle.
Get out of here.
It's worth a shot.
Yeah.
You ever heard of chicken and waffles?
Yeah, it's
chicken
for the
and
content.
donuts, bro.
Okay. Yeah, it's for the content. I'm not saying anything. I appreciate it. But let's get back into Jameis Winston talk here. Former Heisman winner, 2013 national champion. He's currently going to be a free agent. And we're going to try to predict on where he is going to go this upcoming season. Is he going to stay in Tampa Bay? Or, like Dustin reported today, put out an article, his best and probably other better options may be the Chargers, Chicago, maybe go to Indianapolis with the Colts, or go over to Las Vegas and join the Raiders. Where do you guys think, because I know we're all 3 big NFL dudes and we love our teams and all that, so we keep up to date with NFL stuff. Where do you guys think Jameis Winston, where do you think he will be in this upcoming season?
Yeah, it's tough because Bruce Arians has made so many comments to the media where it almost sounds like he doesn't want Jameis back, or that the first option is for Tampa Bay to look elsewhere before re-signing Winston. But at the same time, I mean, that could all just be blurbs to the media because it has been reported that Jameis is seeking a max contract, and I don't think that Tampa Bay is going to be willing to pay him that after what we saw in year 5. But at the same time, I mean, Jameis still has a long way to go in his development. We'll have to see if that LASIK surgery is actually going to improve his vision at all after the 30 interception year. But throughout Arians' career, his offense has always been extremely tough for a first-year quarterback to learn, and typically the signal callers start taking steps forward in the second year of the offense, which is exactly what Carson Palmer did when Arians was in Arizona. He was almost an MVP candidate during his second year with the Cardinals. So at this point, I'm leaning towards Jameis coming back to Tampa Bay, whether that's under the franchise tag or something else. I don't think he'll get a max deal by any means.
Yeah, I don't think he'll get a max deal either. The other options are intriguing because with the Chargers, you have Derwin James. You get the team up back out there in LA. Chicago, just no, it's not a good fit. I really think he'd fit in well with Indianapolis. They've got a good offensive line. They got some solid running backs. They need 1 or 2 more receivers, but I think that's a team that's on the rise, and they kind of need that game-changing quarterback. If Jameis can have the touchdowns and not the interceptions, he's obviously that guy. Then the Raiders, they've got to create some cap space by letting go of Derek Carr, so I don't see that happening. So to me, I think Tampa, the Chargers, or the Colts are all decently badly.
If Jameis wasn't to end up back in Tampa Bay, I would definitely prefer to probably see him on the Colts because Indianapolis has a solid offensive line, and one thing Jameis Winston hasn't had during his NFL career is a solid offensive line. I mean, every year it feels like he's getting destroyed.
No, yeah, that no.
They have no running. They have no running game because the offensive line just sucks.
but even the running backs they've had aren't good. At least in Indianapolis, you got Naheem Hines and a couple other guys.
If you all right, you're
Marlon Mack.
Dustin, you're a Tampa Bay Bucks fan, and obviously covering Florida State, good FSU fan. But would you rather see him leave Tampa Bay and be like successful? Or would you rather just have him get paid and stay in Tampa Bay and just continue to maybe go over 500 and maybe make the playoffs once or twice, 3 times in his career, but that's about it?
I mean, man, I want Jameis to take it back to the Florida State days. I want him to get another winning streak going and, he can't win a Heisman in the NFL, but get up into MVP contention and look like the superstar he was in college. And, the more he plays in Tampa, the more it looks like he's going to have to leave to find that success because no matter what he's done, they just haven't built a quality offense around him. You can look at the receivers, Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. Yeah, they're great. Cameron Brate, he's a solid tight end. But the offensive line, it's just too bad for them to be consistent. Their running backs, they're not elite players, so they can't do much behind a poor offensive line. And that just makes it a one-dimensional offense. Defense finally took a step forward in 2019, but before that, the defense was pretty much bottom 6 in the league every year since Jameis has been drafted. He simply just had no help in Tampa Bay, and they're still not really doing much to help him out. I mean, we'll have to see. So, yeah, if I had to pick for him to be successful somewhere, I'd say, yeah, get the hell out of Tampa Bay, and I'm going with you.
I think a lot of Tampa Bay Bucks fans and also FSU fans are the same way. Like after a while, whenever you see OJ Howard get drafted before and get drafted over Dalvin Cook,
I hate him. Notice how I didn't mention his name.
That's all you got to say to piss off a Tampa Bay Bucks fan is OJ Howard. Can I piss you off even more and say I'd rather have OJ Howard over Dalvin Cook, and I'm the Tampa Bay Bucks organization?
And we wonder why they continue to be a joke year after year.
It's hilarious, man. You can't make it up. You really just can't.
Top to bottom, the whole organization.
I can't name their running back right now.
It's Peyton Barber and Ronald Jones, but who the hell is that?
Yeah, that's about, yeah. I could say a lot of other things, but I'm not going to. Yeah, no one knows who that is, so it's awesome. Good to know. Good thing they have a 500-pound defensive tackle, too, instead of Derwin James, right? With Vita Vea, whatever his name is.
You need to stop, man.
This is what you get for missing that podcast.
You're making me upset.
But, I agree with both of you. I think for the most successful for him to be and kind of compete right away for getting in that playoff contention, even higher than that, would be the Colts. I think it's also intriguing. I don't think it's fantastic, maybe not even the location. I don't think he wants to be that far away. I don't think it'd be good for him. Young family. He's about to get married this year, from what I've heard, going into the LA Chargers. But there is some talent around him. You got Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, Hunter Henry, also Melvin Gordon's there. You have a running back, and also of course Derwin James is there, and you got a pretty decent defense. So, but it'll be interesting to see. I don't know where Jameis Winston is going to be. It all depends on Bruce Arians, but like Dustin has noted, it is usually a better year the second time under Bruce Arians being a quarterback. And maybe Bruce is ready to rock with them. If he can just get rid of those turnovers, man, it would be a whole different animal, He was the most entertaining quarterback last season.
For better or worse. Through 7 or 8, I think it was an NFL record, 7 or 8 pick sixes. I mean, it was just whenever you watch Jameis Winston, something exciting is going to happen, whether that's for his team or the other team.
Correct.
Hopefully less for the other team. I'm telling you, the LASIK, it's going to pay off.
You know another team, and this is just not because I'm a Steelers fan, but Jameis Winston to the Steelers is also not signed. Right now, it's not a good time. Obviously, Big Ben keeps on saying that he's just going to stay until whenever. He's not going to say whenever he says he's going to retire, then he doesn't. Now he's saying he's never going to retire. But I wouldn't. It's not the right timing, and it's not going to fit now. But if it were to be happening now, and Big Ben were to have his last season, Jameis Winston comes, I think it kind of still fits there with Steelers offense. Steelers has a good offensive line. You got talent around it. Got a running back. You're obviously going to add more talent on the offense with this draft coming up. I don't think the Pittsburgh Steelers out, but this timing though kind of ruins that, because I think Mike Tomlin, whenever the pro day was going on, Mike Tomlin was around Jameis Winston quite a bit. Obviously, Big Ben was was competing very well during that time in 2013, 2014, but it's just not the right time. But the Steelers have really. I'm surprised. You got Vince Williams. But after that, I need another Noel there, man. I need another Noel. I had Los there for a little bit, but
you had Matthew Thomas. What happened,
dude? I know. I thought that was going to be it, and he played a couple. He played a couple of games, but didn't like him, I guess. I was kind of ticked off. A lot of the Steelers fan base loved him. He was playing very well. Just didn't work out, man. Didn't work out. Talking about NFL, let's end off the football talk with Cam Akers. Obviously, the NFL Combine is currently going on. I was shocked that they're actually doing this late now. I'm so used to being during the afternoon. I was talking with Austin. I'm so used to them doing it during the early afternoon and all that kind of jazz. But now they're doing it this evening. And Cam Akers comes in, they're doing the bench at 225. He gets 20 reps, and I don't understand why some of the FSU Twitter and some Twitter people are thinking that's pretty weak. A.J. Dillon, who weighs 25 plus more than him, had only 3 more reps, which I was shocked. But Cam Akers, 20 reps. A.J. Dillon, 23. I think J.K. Dobbins was also 23 or 22, somewhere around there. But yeah, he'll be on the field tomorrow doing drills in the 40-yard dash.
Yeah, that man is strong. I mean, what can you say? 20 reps of 225 pounds, and he only weighs, I think he weighs 223, and he measured in at a little bit over 5'10". So I'd say for a running back his size, and I mean, we all know the stature that Cam Akers boasts. I mean, he's a pretty big guy. Definitely, I mean, he looks strong. He runs tough. And, it doesn't surprise me. 20 reps is solid. I don't know why people are complaining about that. Like you said, A.J. Dillon, who is probably the most physical runner in college football a year ago, only did 3 more than Akers. And I think that's credit to Akers and the work he's put in.
I think he's complaining because he got outbenched by a punter.
Yeah, but, hey, so did everyone else.
Yeah, I'm just saying. That's why they're complaining.
Yeah, no, go look. I'm looking at images of A.J. Dillon right now. And sweet mother
of God. That's a big dude.
Sweet mother. God almighty. No, props off to Akers. I tweeted it months ago saying Cam Akers was going to kill it at the Combine. So I'm interested to see. Let's get our predictions ready. 40 time, Cam Akers. What we rocking with? What we got? What we got, baby? What we got? And the winner, let's see. What does the winner get? The winner, I don't know. I don't know what the winner gets. I don't really have.
Donut chicken sandwich.
Well, aren't both y'all going to get it?
I'm going to win,
huh? I guess so. Well, you got to be able to predict the time. Cam Akers,
I'm
40-yard dash tomorrow.
4.63.
Oh, Jesus.
Wow.
Is that bad?
Wow. All right, we're not talking yours plus 1 second, but
all right, 4.56.
That's better.
I don't think he has top end. I think Akers has good speed. I just don't think he has top end elite speed.
No, he kind of surprised me this season now.
I'm going to say...
Like, I don't think he's going to run a 4.4.
Yeah, I think somewhere like 4.52.
I see like mid to upper 4.5s, maybe low 4.6s.
Let me write this down. Let's put it in the sheet here. So let's write it down. All right, Dustin, what do you got?
4.58.
5.8. All right, and Austin?
4.52.
Okay, I'm gonna go the under. I'm gonna go 4.49.
If he wins a 4.49,
maybe
he might go in the second round.
Dude, he might go in the first round. What are you talking about?
If he runs that, he might boot himself up. I'm feeling it.
I think right now they have him ranked as a top 5 running back in this draft.
Yeah, they have him at number 5 right now.
So depending on how the drills go tomorrow and how he does in private workouts with teams, I mean, he could leap up if someone falls in love with him, like Florida State fans.
Let's see what happens. We'll see. I'll be watching tomorrow while I'm at work. See if I win this bet or not. I usually win everything, so. Y'all don't talk, do you?
Well, we were silent because you told a lie.
Yeah.
No, I lied. Okay, my bad. Are y'all ready to preview us for this Clemson game? Like, what's going on here? Like, we're talking. What are we? We're starting into like some number 1 seed talk. What's happening?
Yeah, with Duke losing at Wake Forest somehow this week in double overtime by 12. I don't know how a double overtime game ends in a 12-point loss, but Florida State controls their own destiny in the ACC with just 3 games remaining. Who would have thought? They closed the season at Clemson, at Notre Dame, then Boston College. With a 1-game lead, Duke plays at Virginia, NC State, North Carolina. Louisville still plays Virginia Tech and at Virginia. Yeah, there's some 1-seed talk out there. BracketMatrix.com, which is a website that compiles every bracket out there. There's brackets on there you've never heard of. They list Florida State as the 6th overall seed, which is the second 2 seed. There are, I think, 2 brackets in there that has Florida State as a 1 seed. If a team like Dayton or San Diego State or Gonzaga falls in these next few games, you could see Florida State move up to a 1 seed as long as they start taking care of business, which is unbelievable to talk about.
Yeah, absolutely insane. And man, Wake Forest, we're really happy for you guys. Thanks for the favor. Really appreciate it.
That was amazing.
Because, like you said, Austin, Florida State is now in line for its first ever regular season ACC title, which I think it probably is a more impressive feat than the tournament because they did it across the entire regular season to win one of the toughest conferences in college basketball, even if it's down a bit this year, and to potentially edge out powerhouses like Duke and Louisville. I mean, it just, like we say every week, it just speaks to the program that Leonard Hamilton has built, the depth that he has on this roster, how all the guys have bought in defensively and also on offense, and just being unselfish for one another. I mean, this is a team that plays for each other, and there's not a lot of college basketball teams that do that.
Sorry to interrupt this real quick because I completely forgot, and this is going to be completely off the subject right now.
Oh, right.
But I forgot to ask my question from earlier, and I was interested to get Austin's take on this because we were talking about Norvell's discipline. How is Leonard Hamilton's? Because I walk around campus also. Basketball guys aren't wearing headphones, earbuds. But how is that discipline ran through Leonard Hamilton's program? And I wonder if it relates any to kind of like what Norvell's doing here.
It's a fairly strict policy. Guys can have their earrings in when they're not in the building. But it's kind of the same thing. It's not as soon as you enter the building you have to take them off, but as soon as you enter the locker room you have to take them off. Yeah, you don't see them with headphones much. They'll have their AirPods on the bus, like when they're going to and from the airport. The biggest thing is when they're at dinner, like team dinners. They can't have their phones. They can't be listening to music. They have to be interacting with each other and the coaches and everyone else in the room.
Is that something that the players they're just used to, and they're
just used to it.
Yeah,
and they talk about all the time that it's a brotherhood, and they all really, really do like being around each other. The only real big discipline that I saw was, I'm not going to say the player, I'm not going to say who, when, whenever it was, but they had been slacking off in class and not going to tutoring, and they had to run around the gym and do 100 rim grabs, which doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're sprinting around the court and jumping 100 times grabbing the rim, it's not fun.
Yeah.
He was worn out after about 20.
Big guy?
Big guy or little guy?
I mean, FSU has a lot of in-between guys.
So was he in-between guy?
He could have been. I'm just saying.
Gonna start investigating here.
Little, in-between, big. Just give me his size.
We're going to leave that one alone. Let's just move back to where we were.
Sorry, Stan Jones.
Stan Jones is listening right now. We want you on the podcast. We know you got a busy season right now, but man, what an incredible guest it would just be to have you on for 10 minutes. But anyway, sorry, I just wanted to bring that up because I think it's interesting. Obviously, we've talked about it throughout this whole season on the podcast with how Leonard Hamilton is. And we have former guys come on, and we talked about his discipline, how he looks angry all the time, and all that kind of stuff. But that was just pretty interesting. You got a successful basketball team right now, and you got Mike Norvell trying to bring some discipline and accountability. So that'd be pretty interesting to get a take from your side of things.
It's not that much different, but I mean, there's obviously going to be some differences when you have a team of 18 versus a team of 85 plus how many ever walk-ons they have.
Sorry for interrupting.
Yeah, I don't even know where we were at this point. I remember saying we need towards
the Clemson preview. We're almost there.
Yeah, I remember saying we need Dayton or Gonzaga or one of these teams to lose so we can move up a seed. Because if Florida State can either get the 4th or 5th overall seed and have to play one of Dayton or San Diego State in their region, that's almost sleepwalking to a Final Four. Anything they can do to avoid Gonzaga or Kansas, I'm all for it. And they're really getting there. They are really getting there. Obviously, they've got business to take care of at the end of the season and the ACC tournament. But another thing to talk about with Florida State, NCAA's Andy Katz leaves Florida State off his top 10 toughest places to play, which was ridiculous to me. 64-3 since 2016, 22 straight at home. Jay Billis just said it was one of the greatest atmospheres he's ever seen. That irked me. I ain't gonna lie.
What?
Yeah, I'd rather watch that shitty movie Cats and listen to his coverage again.
That was one of the worst lists I've ever seen.
Name what happened. So NCAA's March Madness reporter, announcer, whatever the hell he's named under, Andy Katz said that Florida State's Tucker Center is off of his top 10 toughest places to play.
Well, he didn't say it's off. He just didn't list it.
Apparently on his podcast, he said it wasn't. He said it wasn't as intimidating of an atmosphere. Which ask Louisville, ask Virginia, ask Carolina, ask any team that's played us in the last 3 years, even Duke. They all say this is one of the toughest places to play in the country. And you can say, yeah, but maybe they're just a good basketball team and haven't played that many people at home. It's the ACC, but that's whatever. He had Gonzaga number 1. They played nobody.
Dustin, what would you say to Andy after seeing that? Andy Katz here.
Something not nice.
Like what?
Nah, you're not getting that out of me tonight, bro. I would just say that I disagree, and I think that his coverage has gotten extremely lazy over the last couple of seasons. He's obviously pretty ignorant about what's currently going on in college basketball. And man, I mean, when's the last time you're even in Tallahassee, Andy Katz? I mean, who are you to judge? How do you judge 22 straight wins or a 64-3 record over the last 4 years? I mean, it speaks for itself. So I don't really give a shit about his little list.
Should we bring on Andy Katz to kind of back up.
He's too little of a figure to have on this show, honestly.
Oh yeah.
He's not important enough.
We need to get Rothstein on here. That'd be lit.
Yeah, that'd be a good pod.
That'd be a lot of fun.
He'd probably do it too.
Honestly, maybe.
64-3 since February in 2016, and currently on a 22 home game winning streak right now. Interesting take there. Can someone pull up the graphic or something? Name the teams that he's got.
I know Gonzaga was number 1.
Gotta have it.
I got it. Gonzaga 1, Kansas, Kentucky, which is crazy because they lost to Evansville at home, and Evansville's 0-16 in conference this year.
Oh my goodness! Stop it,
man.
Maryland, Auburn, Dayton, Oregon, Baylor, BYU, and Rutgers. Which Rutgers just lost this week at home. So, the rack of Rutgers over, whatever. I've been in that arena. It's trash.
Like I told you, you look at the list and you instantly know, like, he doesn't know what's going on in college basketball. So as soon as you read that list, just block him, move on, bypass it, because he clearly don't know shit.
I mean, I don't want to block and move past it because I've gotten some good interactions from it. I think my tweet about it's at 400 likes.
He's about to get the people's elbow.
I'm just saying, there's a reason he's not on ESPN anymore.
Damn.
I told you, because he's gotten lazy.
Yeah.
Wow. Shots fired. Yikes. So,
anyways, moving into the Clemson game.
Himself today.
Yeah, moving into
Did we
the
go
Clemson
over
game.
Did we go over the scenario?
Oh, right. So if Florida State doesn't win out, they can still win the ACC. If they need Louisville to win out, plus Duke winning out, if that makes sense. Or if Duke loses a game, that's fine too. But Louisville has to win out if Florida State loses a game for Florida State to still get the 1 seed. Because they can enter a 3-way tiebreaker, and Florida State has the best record of the 3 teams playing each other, if that makes sense. So Florida State is 2-1 against Duke and Louisville. Duke is 1-1, and Louisville is 1-2. So in the case that Florida State loses 1 game, Duke wins out and Louisville wins out, Florida State would still get the 1 seed, but they'd split the regular season championship. This happened in 2012 with Florida State, where they tied with North Carolina for the regular season championship, but North Carolina won the tiebreaker instead.
Yeah. So, I mean, really impressed with what Florida State is doing. And Austin, as we move into this Clemson preview, obviously Florida State has two games on the road remaining, at Clemson and at Notre Dame next week before a home finale against Boston College for senior night. We know they're not going to lose to BC, but
No.
In your opinion, which of these last two road games do you think is the tougher one for Florida State, and is there potential for them to drop one here?
I mean, there's certainly both trap games. These are classic trap games. It's the trappiest of trap games. Clemson's beaten Duke and Louisville at home this year, despite being 14-13 and 8-9 in conference. For some reason, they just do well against the really good teams. They're sitting they couldn't be any closer to being a quadrant 1 team. They're at 76, and they need to be 75 for this to be a quadrant 1 win. Or a quadrant 1 game. I shouldn't say win because the game hasn't been played yet. But it'd be huge if Clemson, whatever the result is on Saturday, Clemson could win the last couple of games and move up a line. That helped Florida State a lot in their seeding. But Notre Dame's the better of the 2 teams, and in the 2 matchups that we've already had at home against these 2 teams, the Notre Dame game was tougher. And Notre Dame's style of play is a lot. How do I say this? It doesn't match up well with Florida State. Whereas Clemson, it's a slower pace. They just want to play defense. They don't really score a lot. That plays into what Florida State wants to do.
Mm-hmm.
The Notre Dame game where they just spread you out and go bonkers from 3, that's going to be tough to play against, especially on the road in South Bend. It's going to be a tough game. Notre Dame's 56th in the net rankings, so they're about 20 spots better than Clemson. Obviously, everyone's going to look at Clemson and go, oh, God, they've beaten Louisville and Duke at home. We're screwed. I'm honestly not too concerned just because the style of plays match up so well. Clemson's scoring 66.8 points per game this year, which is almost bottom 50 in the country. 43.1% from the floor, 32.1% from three. They're one of the slowest tempos in the country. They're not Virginia slow. Nobody is, but they're slow. Amir Sims and Tevin Mack are the only two guys you got to worry about when it comes to scoring the ball. Sims is at 13.7 points per game. Mack's at 12.2. But they defend the ball really well, allowing just 63.7 points per game. Teams shoot 40.5% from the floor. They don't foul a lot. Stylistically, it's a better matchup for Florida State than Notre Dame is. I'll say that.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think this is just going to be two teams playing tough defense, and I mean, I've said it a couple of times this year. Whoever stops defending first is probably going to lose this one. I think it'll be a little bit closer than expected, especially with Florida State coming off an emotional victory over Louisville on Monday night. Staff is definitely gonna show them the film from the Duke and Louisville games to get them ready and show them that Clemson can upset some of the best teams in college basketball, even if they've been mediocre throughout the year. And yeah, Florida State, they're just gonna have to dodge the upset bug. That's what this game's gonna come down to.
And Florida State has won 5 of their last 7 games at Clemson, so they know how to win in Clemson. It's just a matter of they have refocused and they've gotten the last win out of their minds and can focus on winning these last 3 games, 1 game at a time. Coach Hamilton said it a few times the past couple of weeks that each game they go into is the biggest game of the season because they only play 1 game at a time. And I think that's a great mentality as long as the players are buying into that. And having a senior leader like Trent Forrest, yeah, he had the biggest play of the season, dunking on Jordan Nwora against Louisville. He also knows how to refocus and get ready for the next opponent, which I think is going to be huge for a team that's still fairly young. A lot of people said this team was a year away, but this team's here and now. Another thing about Clemson, they only play about 8 guys, steady minutes, and only 2 of them are shooting above 33.3% from 3. Amir Sims, who we've talked about earlier, and Alex Hemingway, he's only played 11 games this season because he'd been dealing with injury, but he's shooting 50% from 3. So if there's a random white guy that's going to go off, it's going to be him.
And, yeah, I mean, I don't have we had that type of performance yet? Would you say Ryan McMahon was close?
It was close. He was just being annoying. It wasn't like he was doing anything. There was one game earlier in the year where some dude dropped 30 on us. I think it was the Western Carolina game.
Yeah, I feel like Florida State, they're due for that type of game where some random 3-point shooter is going to get hot and knock down 4 or 5 threes and just make things a lot closer than it should be. That's how it goes for Florida. Every year at least once.
Yeah, it's maybe this team's just got that veteran leadership to say we're not going to let that happen anymore. It's certainly possible. But I feel like that also happens to every team where some random dude goes off just once. You'd like to get out of the way now and not in the NCAA tournament when you're playing like a Stony Brook or some random team out there. I don't know who's doing well in their conferences, but you'd rather have it now than against some 15 seed in the tournament.
Yeah. But like you said, Clemson pretty much only runs a 7 to 8 man rotation. So Florida State, once again, should have the advantage in depth and also talent. Florida State's rotational players off the bench are more talented than the guys Clemson currently has in the lineup. Yeah, Austin, you also said they struggle from the field from 3, only shoot 67.8% from the line. So this is a team where nothing really comes easy for them offensively. And now they're about to play one of the best defenses in college basketball, so it's going to get a little tougher.
Yeah, and the worst thing Florida State can do is play to Clemson's pace. If Florida State can speed them up a little bit, get them in transition, get them playing a little more chaotic, that's going to play a lot more to Florida State's advantage. Even if the slower pace does work well with Florida State, just speed them up just a little bit.
Yeah, and if you speed them up and start getting Florida State in transition, I mean, that's the time where you start seeing Patrick Williams throwing it down, Devin Vassell getting the open threes off the break, Trent Forrest getting a wide open layup. So I agree with you, Austin. If Florida State can get them to run, force them into turnovers, get them uncomfortable, that's exactly where this team wants to be.
Yeah, so let's just go ahead and go into predictions now. It's going to be a lower scoring game, probably.
Yeah.
Florida State kind of ran away with it last year. Plus their early matchup at home this year, they kind of ran away with it in the second half. Clemson's going to be thinking about that. They're going to be thinking upset like they have been all year. But I think Florida State's going to pull away with it. I think it's going to be a little closer than people want. I think Florida State will win about 68-62. It's going to be a very similar game to NC State, I feel like.
Wow. Man, great. Great minds think alike, Austin. Because I already told you, I think this game's going to be closer than expected. Clemson, they've beaten some very good teams at home, like we've mentioned. But I just think they're not going to have the magic to be able to finish off Florida State in this one. I've got FSU 68-61, and that prediction was made before you said yours, just to let you know. Mm-hmm. So, hey, we're right on the money, man. We'll see what happens. Logan, what do you think?
I think you are being ridiculous. Not a close game. FSU wins. What do you say? What do you say? Leonard Hamilton says if you beat him by 10, that's a blowout in ACC.
If you beat him by 4.
Oh, if you beat him by 4.
4 on the road.
I'll be happy to tell. Whenever you get a chance, Austin, let Leonard know. Tell Coach Ham I said what's up, and let him know this is going to be a blowout.
Gotcha.
It's going to be a blowout in Clemson, South Carolina.
I'll be sure to tell him.
Florida State wins by 10 in Clemson. What was y'all scores?
It's not a blowout. 68-61.
And 62.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to go FSU 72, Clemson 62.
Not bad. I don't hate it.
It's not too bad.
Yeah, it's not
I think that's not too terrible.
Just,
I got to always go bold, you know. I got to go the opposite.
Bold.
Who's your leading scorer?
Leading score. Ooh, this is going to be an interesting one, dude. I'm not...
There's so many you can pick from.
I know, that's so friggin' annoying.
What is it, 8 different guys?
Hot right now. Forrest is hot. And Walker is getting into his groove. Vassell's Vassell, which is ridiculous. It's hard to pick. I'm going to go... I'm going to go Walker because you know what? He was recruited hard by Clemson. I'm going to go Walker here in Clemson.
Great minds think alike. Walker, 24.
Whoa, okay.
I'm going to say Patrick Williams with 16.
Okay, Patty Melt.
Which, by the way, if you haven't checked out our Wallpaper Wednesday with Patrick Williams.
Oh, my goodness.
It's a good one.
It's nasty.
Adam snapped on that one. That he said he's going to he created his best work, and I do agree. That was awesome. Y'all should definitely go use that as your iPhone wallpaper. Got a lot of new stuff coming out, too, for March Madness. Creative team is ready to blow this mother up. We got a lot of good new images from our photographer, Logan Stanford, so it's going to be a fun next month or so, hopefully, for FSU basketball and creative team, what we're going to put together. So, yeah, y'all want to get into questions real quick? We don't have a lot, but let's run into questions before we get into trivia. First question is coming from our regular listener, Heath. I'm going to call you, yes. Is it understood that MJ Walker is coming back for his senior year next year?
Yeah, I don't know where he'd go. He's a good player. He's played a lot better this year than I think a lot of people expected. He's been a lot more consistent. He's been better defensively. But at the same time, he's not quite ready for that next step. I think he needs to tone his he needs to be a little bit better between the years, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's hard to deny that he hasn't taken a step forward this year as a junior, and wouldn't surprise me if he continues to improve going into his senior season, and maybe next year he's even better than this year and more efficient from the field. Obviously, defensively, MJ Walker is elite when he's in that mindset. I mean, he's a very great defender on the outside, laterally. He can also help out on the inside, block some shots with his athleticism. I really like him on the defensive end. And it just matters on offense. His shot selection has got to be better at times, and he's just got to play more than the flow of the offense. Sometimes I feel like he tries to go ISO a little bit too much. But like you said, Austin, MJ Walker definitely going to be back for his senior year at Florida State. He's not really an NBA draft prospect at this point, I would say, but there's a chance that maybe he could play his way into it just like Terrence Mann did during his senior year. So we'll just have to see.
Although I think it's huge he was voted as a captain this season. I think that speaks a lot to his maturity and where he can go next season.
This next question is coming from Drew G. Howell from Twitter. asks, the way we have been playing, what is your opinion where we finished the season? Sweet 16, Final Four? I like how he skipped Elite 8 in there.
Yeah.
From Sweet 16 straight to the Final Four.
I mean, it's the tournament. It really depends on matchups and what bracket they get. If they're in a Kansas or Gonzaga bracket, I think Elite Eight's the ceiling, just because I think Kansas and Gonzaga are better teams. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, it's Gonzaga. They played Pepperdine. But they have 7 guys that are scoring double digits, and they're all in Florida State's height range. They're 6'3", 6'4", 6'8", 6'11". They can compete with Florida State. I know people don't want to hear that, but that's a really good team out there in Spokane, Washington. And Kansas is another great team as well. But if on the other flip side, if you get in a Dayton or San Diego State bracket, even a Baylor bracket, I really like how we match up against Baylor. Yeah, you could be talking about a Final Four / national championship game run. You absolutely could.
Yeah, I think Florida State has the guards and the wings to be able to play with just about anyone in the country. And the main weakness is the big men with Dominic Oleksiak and Balsa Koprivica. I mean, they're not even – I mean, I'm not saying Chris Kumaji was a great player, but I think if he was on this team, it would be really great for Florida State, and he'd be the best big by far on the roster. So traditionally, Florida State, they've had really great big men, and it's just one of those years where they're just average at the position. But either way, I think if the guard play can keep up like this and Patrick Williams can continue to improve, Anthony Polite gets a little bit hot off the bench to help this team, maybe Wyatt Wilkes hit some shots in the tournament, this team can go deep. And all I'll say is I did put a bet down for Florida State to win the national championship.
So basically, if we don't win, it's your fault. But we talked about it in our instant reaction podcast. March Madness in the NCAA tournament's based on having great experienced guard play, and Florida State has that. Trent Forrest has been there and done that. This will be his 4th straight NCAA tournament. MJ Walker's been there. Devin Vassell's been there, and he's hit big shots in tournament games. You want freshmen to play well, but you don't have to rely on them, which is exactly what Patrick Williams does. They don't rely on him, but he contributes in so many great ways. You've got a great head coach in Leonard Hamilton. You've got great game planners and scouts with Charlton Young, Stan Jones, and Steve Smith. They've got everything they need. The tournament really isn't predicated on having great bigs. While Azubuike could give us problems with Kansas, the tournament really isn't relied on great bigs.
Damn, roast me, bro.
I'm just saying.
Well, that's what I said. They got the guards and the wings to play with anybody. So
yeah,
if those guys can keep it up, I mean, that's going to be a huge part of it, especially because Florida State, they love the small ball with Malik, which, I mean, I love it too. And also, I think me and you have both said that small ball lineup with Malik at center and Patrick Williams playing power forward is really good for Florida State.
Yeah, even against Louisville,
MJ and Devin.
Yeah, even against Louisville when we had Turk at the 5, it was doing really well. That small ball lineup's done really well for Florida State this year. I think it could take them a long way.
Those, honestly, I think Malik Osborne and Raekwon Gray might be the most 2 important players for Florida State's tournament hopes. If they're playing quality minutes at the center position or at the 4, that is going to help Florida State tremendously.
Yeah, because you're not going to always get production out of the big 4 of Forrest, Vassell, Walker, and Williams, but at least 2 of the 4 is going to be producing. So if you can get some of those role players, like you said, Turk and Malik, or if you can get an Anthony Polite to play really well in the tournament, it's going to be huge.
We'll obviously have a lot to talk about in the next week. Florida State only has 3 games left in the regular season, this one including the Clemson game this Saturday at 2 p.m. Then Florida State will face at Notre Dame on Wednesday at 9 p.m., late night game there. And then also to end off the season, senior night. Austin wants to see everybody there for Trent Forrest.
It's already sold out.
Yep, already sold out of its mind.
That's insane.
Yeah, I think all of them
will go up Sunday.
I think every level has pretty much been done. But yeah, Florida State's gonna be facing Boston College to end off the season next Saturday.
FSU versus Boston College is sold out. That's nuts.
We've made it.
Yeah, I think
it would, dude. 2 or 3 years ago, it would be maybe half full for that matchup.
Austin, do you? I'm excited about this one. I think the whole NG staff is, but do you want to give kind of like just some hints? Don't give it away, but we have some NBA players, or some guys that might be coming on. Dual podcast coming up soon to preview March Madness. What's going on here, dog?
Yeah, I don't want to spoil the whole thing.
What are you laughing at, Dustin? I'm hyped.
What's going on here, dog?
I'm hyped. I'm not even, I'm the hype man. Like I said, I like the dunks. I like the big names. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we got 2 of those coming.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil anything. I don't want to give out any big names. Give it away. Mm-hmm. But there may be a gift out there of these 2.
We got to go ahead, right? Confirmation, something like that.
Yeah, we're just waiting to solidify the date, but they both said they're down to come on, down to tell some stories like Wilder and Carlos did.
Oh, I'm excited.
I'm just saying there may be a gift out there of the 2 of them.
So that's gonna be coming up, hopefully here in a week and a half or so. Whenever we get ready to preview March Madness, they'll be on with us to get you guys ready, all you that listen, ready for the big run, obviously, which I think, we're really kind of just trying to get these regular season games out of the way and start preparing for the ACC tourney and then obviously March Madness. But yeah, I'm excited for that. Y'all ready to get into some FSU trivia?
As ready as I'll ever be.
Hear the spirit of FSU trivia. I don't know what the score is. I should probably know this with me being like the...
I'm either up 1 or it's tied.
Yeah, it's one of those 2.
So which one do you want to have?
Yeah, we can say tie.
And I'll say I'm winning.
All right. Well, here, we'll figure it out this way. We'll see if Austin's...
Just going to ask Keith.
Yep, Dustin, pick a number from 1 to 10. And I've got it.
Lucky number 7, baby. Christian Ponder.
It was 6. Wait, that's not how you play the game, right?
That's not how you play the game.
Okay, let's try it. Let's try this again. Let's do 1 to 100. All right, Dustin, you pick first. 1 to 100.
69.
24.
My number was 40. So yeah.
Okay,
Austin.
yeah.
69 failed me again.
Okay, I don't know. I don't want to know unless Austin wants to know.
Nope.
Okay, we'll move on. All right, let's get into FSU Hear the Spirit trivia. The world wants to know if these 2 guys know what the hell they're talking about since they talk about it for an hour and a half on a podcast. Let's see if they know what the hell they're talking about basketball-wise. And this is going to be a pretty good one here since we're getting close to March Madness. I thought we'd kind of direct this towards the NCAA tournament and see how many appearances the Noles have been in a lot of these rounds. So let's start off with number 1. How many times has Florida State appeared in the Elite 8? You got 10 seconds. 10.
3.
9. 3 is correct.
Oh, yes.
Good job. All right, up next, how many times has Florida State appeared in the Sweet 16?
Ooh.
8, 7, 6.
5.
4, 3, 2.
6. It's either 5 or 6. I want to go 6.
What? I wanted to say 6, but I said 5.
You're going to wish you wanted to say 6, Dustin.
God, you got to be kidding.
Oh, man. Dustin, this is just like the XFL. I'm going to come right to you with the microphone. What do you have to say now going under 2 after losing the first little 1 to 100? And obviously now you're down by 2 for
thinking of my strategy, I really screwed up here. I only selected odd numbers. I went with number 7 to start out. Then I went with 69. Then I went with 3, which actually was correct. And then I went with 5, which failed. So next time I'm going all even numbers. That's what I've learned.
You think you'll ever not go with 69 again?
No, I'm definitely going with that.
Austin, let's go and head over to you. How are you feeling now? You have a 2-0 lead. Do you think you'll be able to keep that lead and keep it going throughout the rest of the year?
I don't think I'm going to lose another trivia.
Oh, incredible. So I think we're just going to go ahead and say right now, Austin has a 4-2 lead. And that's what we're going to mark it as right now.
I think it's 5-3 technically.
5-3. Okay, so we have friggin' police over here with it.
I won 3.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think you were up 3-1 at one point. I think.
Well, we'll just let it be 5-3.
Wow, are you telling me I pulled a Golden State?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm sure Heath will correct us if we're
Blew
wrong.
a 3-1 lead.
Yeah. Exactly. You blow a lot of things, Dustin.
All right.
Well,
let's get into the fun fact.
No, I actually have an idea, guys.
All right.
I think we switch it up and we each pick a terrible dad joke.
Oh, I've got so many.
20
for this.
terrible bad dad jokes. I'm just reading off the site here, but I'm going to say everyone pick their favorite bad dad joke, and I think this is something we can switch around. Oh, you got?
I've got a list on my phone. We're good.
You've got a list on your
because
phone.
he uses that when sliding into DMs, and I guarantee it. Yep, that's exactly.
That is not true. That is not true. I only
laughing.
share them when asked.
No.
I only share them when asked.
Oh, Austin uses them when he's sliding into DMs. That's what he uses. So everyone, whenever he says something here, this is what he uses with girls.
That's ridiculous. I can't believe I'm being accused of this.
That's what you do.
It's not, though.
You've admitted this before to us at some point.
No.
I think you have.
No.
I think so. All right, I'll. There's so many, man. I love these, but I'll go first. And if we want to start off with 2, then we'll do it. 2 each. I know Dustin's still searching with his slow ass 1968 computer that's on friggin' Internet Explorer. So it takes him
its last legs.
Mm-hmm.
I need to take it out back and shoot it.
You better watch out. PETA is coming after you.
PETA?
PETA. PETA. What is it?
Was that your first dad joke?
No.
PETA.
No. Old Yeller, that son of a bitch.
PETA.
All right, I'm going to go first here. Y'all ready? Y'all listening? Y'all got to make sure y'all listening. All right. You ready? Listening, Dustin?
Halfway.
All right, here we go. I don't trust stairs. They're always up to something.
That's the best you
That's
got.
not that bad.
No, I have way better ones, but I can't just do it like right off the bat like that.
Okay.
All right,
go
Austin,
next.
you go ahead.
Austin,
Yeah, go.
since you have a list, I don't know why you didn't even start off. Just go ahead, man.
Did you hear about the female rapper who could only rap when she was on her menstrual cycle? They said she had a mean flow.
Oh my god.
Is that what you're really using when you're signing to Instagram's DMs? No wonder it's not working out for him, Dustin. Hope you're not telling her that you're gonna go take her out to eat and say that.
Oh man. All right,
okay.
Dustin.
Hold on. Move on. The Dustin, which.
All right. Well, here we go.
Great.
If you see a robbery at an Apple store, does that make you an eyewitness?
It's not bad. That is not bad.
That's not terrible. It's not a terrible one. All right, I'm gonna give my second one, my last one, real quick. All right, y'all ready? Want to hear a joke about construction? Nah, I'm still working on it.
That was not it. That was not it.
I'm still working on it. Give me a minute.
That was not it.
Those are 2 pretty poor ones, Logan. I'm sure there were better selections out there.
Well, I was gonna go with the menstrual cycle one, like Austin went.
That was a good one, though. You have to admit.
Mm-hmm.
That one, I mean, yeah, it was good. That one was good. It was good, bad. Yours are just bad, Logan.
I have like really bad ones though, but we would be like canceled off of iTunes, I think, and I can't do that.
What are those? What are they about? Jesus.
I can't say it. I might have to bleep it out.
What
but
website are you on?
No, they're ones that I know on the top of my head.
That's not good.
I can't say it. No, I can't say it. No, we'll lose. I'll get shit on Twitter.
What kind of dad's talking to his kids like that?
Stepdads.
Facts. We've all taken a spoon to the head, you know. Anyway, Austin. Dad joke number 2.
Yeah,
my last joke's actually kind of serious.
Great.
Yeah, I used to have a really bad addiction. I was addicted to the hokey pokey, but I turned myself around, and that's what it's all about.
Oh my God.
I don't know about that one. I hope you don't use that with girls in your DMs, man.
All right, I'll finish this. I'll finish this segment out here.
Yeah, finally you'll finish for once.
What?
Anyway,
what is happening over there in Tallahassee?
What's happening at Logan's house in Tallahassee? Not my house.
Nothing. Doing nothing. Hanging out. Talking sports.
Well, hang out and listen to this joke. 2 goldfish are in a tank. One says to the other, "Do you know how to drive this thing?"
No.
Okay. You can't ever come after me, Dustin. Ever come after me.
That was way better.
Pause.
Did you hear the delivery?
It was horrible.
It's professional.
Professional. You're a dad? I don't think you are.
You're right. Amateur.
Thank you. But yeah, I think that was pretty good. I think hopefully the listeners will laugh at those. I don't know.
I hope they were gone by this point.
Hopefully so. I'm praying for them. Hopefully I didn't have to listen to that. Yeah. That's pretty much it. Any other jokes you have on your list?
I've got a few, but I feel like I should save them for next week, unless we're not doing this next week.
Oh, we can do it next week. I think it's something to switch it up a little bit. I think it's good.
Or that'd be next week, whenever we record next.
So in like 4 months. But yeah, I think that's pretty much going to do it, unless you'll have anything else to talk about or say or discuss or campaign.
Watch the basketball game at 2 o'clock on Saturday. That's all I got.
Yep, 2 o'clock, ACC Network Extra. Fuck you, Comcast.
Yeah, don't have that, so they can screw me off, and I'm gonna find, or they can screw off, and I'm gonna find a free live stream for that. So I will be going to jail tomorrow. So glad I released that.
Hey, Grandma Streams.
Yep, they're back. But yeah, I think that's pretty much gonna do it for this episode of Hear the Spear. As always, you can listen to this podcast on iTunes, SoundCloud, Spotify, Google Play. If you rate us 5 stars on iTunes and leave a review, we will shout you out on the next podcast. Make sure you guys are subscribed.
Real quick, I just want to say, make sure to tune into the next episode. We will have the KFC chicken donut sandwich review coming right at you. Also, we're going to be talking some Florida State spring practice preview. So that should be a pretty big topic on the next episode, along with some more basketball recaps and previewing the Notre Dame game. Good night.
So do I need to say anything else, or are you just going to continue to do that?
Well, I just figured I'd throw that in there to let people know that we're going to be talking some football next week, so get your arm warmed up.
Why do they need to get their arm warmed up again?
To throw a football?
Okay.
No, it's basketball season. To shoot a ball.
Okay. Well, while those two argue, we're going to go on and end off this podcast. Thank you guys so much for listening. If you want to find us on Twitter, we're at Here at the Spear. Like Dustin said, we're going to talk some football next week. Get ready for spring practice. Got a lot of basketball to talk about. And keep an eye out. We have a dual pod coming with some guys that I can't say. I just about let it through, and I just about said it, but I'm going to keep my mouth shut.
I mean, you pretty much gave it away. There's only like
No.
5 dudes.
Shut up! Shut up!
They could be former NBA players too.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, exactly. So, Jesus. Golly, Dustin Lewis. Anyways, thank you guys
Dave Cowens next week, everyone.
That'd be awesome. You would freak out because that's a Celtic legend.
Oh, you're damn right I'd freak out.
You're
I
right.
would have to warm the arm up. All right, let's get out of here.
Time to go. Thank you guys so much for listening. Adios, guys. Bye.
Not the silk word, 17.5, same color t-shirt.